You ever see something so true that you couldn't unsee it? Something that you just knew would serve you. Whether it be self-awareness, plant medicine, a lover, a career. That's what we get down to here. Welcome to Disciplined Stoners, the gateway drug to mindfulness. Spark up or don't, and enjoy the show. Glad you're here. Thanks to the green, I'm an early bird. It's 5 a.m. and I'm smoking herb. Had a CBN pill and I just slept so well. I'm saying that I'm living right. I'm smoking all the perfect types. I wake up and see the bright side. I would highly suggest that baby now and then, don't you just wanna sleep in, wake and bake. Make a big salad of all of your faves. Smell like a bonfire from blazing the haze. I'm high on my life, babe, and I think it's great. So I'll take my spliff green. Oh, cappuccino and lunch at 3. Weed's been good to me. Weed's been good to me. And I don't even get hungover. Yeah, baby, I'm California sober. I just need a moment to think it over. Trying to avoid another explosion. What you know about throwing blows at your own nose. And the only thing that helps is when you smoke. And brainwash folks wanna say that dope. And that's right, I am dope. I don't care what you think, I know what I know. And welcome back to another episode of Disciplined Stoners. I'm your host, Ellevan.
My name is Winnie.
And we are the gateway drug to mindfulness. And today, yes, we got one of the friendliest faces in all the cannabis gatherings that we have. Really a pioneer with what he's doing and bringing to the game now, which we will get into. He's a fellow BC boy. He's the owner of Dank Reviews, Sativa Bliss,
The Dope Box, and AstroBoyz.
AstroBoyz! I don't want to take it all. We split it in half. Please put your joints up for your friend, our man, Jazz.
Oh my God. Thank you. I already feel the energy, right? It's so amazing to be here.
I know. I can feel it from over here.
Yeah.
It's just radiating out of him. It's incredible how you do that, Ellevan.
Bless. Thank you. Jazz, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So good to see you.
Very nice to be here.
Congratulations on everything you got going on.
Thank you. It's a lot to take on, but...
Yeah, just most people don't have... How many things did we list? 4 that are like major things that need full-time attendance on your end, that need like a lot of...
Awareness.
Yeah, and care around all of these. Yeah, established brands. So how is it? You're obviously a serial entrepreneur.
Yes.
Has that been something that, like, from a young person?
I actually, started my first business at 22 years of age.
Wow.
Before graduating university, and it's been like nonstop since then. I found out that working for me was not a thing, and never had a job in my life. So this is the only way to make money and survive and support my family and kids. So you just keep doing it.
Were you successful in that first job at 22 years old?
It wasn't a job.
Business.
It was
Excuse me.
We actually started with a $23 investment, and
big bucks to start up.
A couple years later, it was $1 million business.
Stop it!
Let's go.
Now, did
Dreams.
you expect that from the beginning? Have you just had this sort of like drive?
No, we didn't expect it. That was something we started as a volunteer thing, and said, let's see if we can turn into a real business. And it was challenging. We just figured out ways to overcome a lot of those challenges. We were just like, none of us had any previous business experience, me and my partners.
Wow.
We had no mentors or any guidance. Our parents, didn't even speak English, right? So there was no guidance or anything. We're just, out there trying to figure out how to do business.
Were they business owners or were they employees?
Your parents?
My mom has never worked in her life, and she still doesn't speak English or drive a car or anything. And
what a peaceful life, though, in an interesting way.
Yeah. It's the best damn cook you'll ever find. So
that's a full-time job.
Yeah,
She
that's
puts
a
her
full-time
love.
job. Yeah, she puts all the love in. And my dad was doing construction most of his life.
As an employee or as a contractor?
As a contractor.
Right.
He had two of my uncles working for him and a couple other guys. They just did like small projects and renovations.
But he did have that mentality to cradle value and find a client.
Yes.
That you could kind of mirror off of, but then you just took it the next level by going to school and kind of understing business practices.
They did it a lot really old school way.
Yeah,
Where, there was no invoicing or this and that.
Hardcore.
And, it was just like business through referral, or sometimes they would just like buy a old house and fix it up and sell it, or you're fixing one person's basement and somebody else comes along and says, oh, we want our basement done too, right? So
that's what I do.
That's all it was specifically, right?
I tell that to artists as well, that it's like when you want to go full time with something, just do.
Yeah,
just do
just do it.
Someone will see you doing it, and even if you don't do it very well, people will be like, well, how'd you do that? And then it can bring you a partner. That's amazing.
That's the way I've always done business, is like stop thinking too much and don't overanalyze. Just look at things. I've learned a lot in business now, where I actually make Swiss cheese out of every project first and talk to a lot of people and get some feedback. But
Nice.
definitely don't overthink. It's like I'll have a business idea and I want to be launched within a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then figure it out afterwards, because you learn a lot in the real world actually doing things and seeing if it actually can work or not.
That's the only way I learn.
Yeah.
I've realized, like, you can put theory, like you can think as much as you want about something, but like there's nothing if you don't act on it.
There's nothing if you don't act on it.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think it's when you're thinking about an idea, if you think about it for too long, it's also easier to not do it, right? Like it'll just become something that you had an idea about once.
Yeah, what's it called? Paralysis through analysis or something like that?
Yeah. Analysis paralysis.
Yeah, so it's the fears start kicking in then, right? So I typically need to get it out there, and like yourselves, I'm quite spiritual. So if I have an idea, I start declaring it to the universe. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, and then it has to come into fruition, right?
Bro, I was going to tiptoe there, and it's so beautiful because I do feel this wonderful peace from you, this calmness, and I know you got a lot going on. But it's no reason to let it kind of break your peace.
And I was 100%.
I was gonna ask, how do you? I've now, since we've been friends, we've been chatting. You're in my mental vortex, and I'll think about you in a moment where I actually need to ground myself, almost like just like chill the fuck out, bro. Like you're good energy for. How did you find that groundedness? Because juggling lots of different things can really amp you up. Like I feel like I'm learning that skill, what you possess right now, because I'm loving the ride, but staying peaceful and grounded and in that little safe space you create for yourself amongst all the
madness. Well, one thing in life that you have to realize is you can never control what happens out there. The only thing you actually have control of is what happens inside you and how you react to the world. So if the world's on fire, it doesn't mean you have to catch on fire. You have to be able to control that. And for me, that's the only way. I try to think simple. Don't try to make things in grays. It's just do things simply. Live very, very simply as well, too. Don't try to think I'm special in any way. Just be ordinary. Don't try to compete with any other people. I just compare myself to who I was yesterday. That's it. And just try to do better. Right.
So you've accumulated this solid perspective of almost affirmations throughout just living life.
That's it. Yeah.
When did you click into that? Is that more recently, say within the recent 10 years, or have you always had that? Did you get that gem from a book or something when you were younger?
No, I used to be an asshole before.
I love that.
That's amazing.
That's the best way to get to being a peaceful soul, is to be a shithead for a while.
That's going to be the start of this episode. It's just you saying that.
And many people probably still think I am, right? So you never know.
That's okay. Let them
But that's
be.
okay.
Some people have to, I think.
Yeah.
Just
It's
it's
part
the
of
way
it.
of the world.
You can't
Yeah.
live life making other people happy, right? You gotta make yourself happy and live by your own morals and values. And
You can't ever make everyone
Everyone
happy.
happy.
It's
No.
like as soon as I focus on this side of the
Yeah.
room, they're happy, and then I lose them. And then I shift back over here, and then I lose them. So
100%. And if you're not making people upset, chances are you're not doing anything meaningful in life.
if you're not pissing anyone,
Yeah.
dude, exactly. If
Yeah.
you're not even just a mere competition that someone feels like, fuck you, then it's like, dude, you need to try something.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. There's no important conversations that happen without pissing people off, right?
Yeah.
So,
Because it means something.
I'm always curious when you inevitably piss people off, because that just happens for sure. Does that take an emotional toll on you? Do you clock that? Do you spend time there? Or do you just, are you living in let
You
go in the
just
present?
shake
You
it
just
off.
look at them.
Shake it off. right?
Shake it off.
Yeah,
Shake it off.
that's
That's it.
something that I
That's
have
tough.
not been able
Yeah.
to fully achieve in the present moment. It takes me a while. I have to it's like I don't know if I'm like letting my ego react or if
You are.
I'm just feeling pain and like accepting that I'm feeling that right now.
Well, I know a lot of like famous podcasters. I listen to podcasts. That's like I don't watch TV or anything like that. And they always say, don't read the comments. Turn them off. Just don't read them. Just do your thing.
Yeah.
And people that love you will support you and watch you. And the people that hate you, let them
Will
be.
also watch you.
They'll still watch you.
They
Yeah,
might
they'll
not
still
support
watch
you, but
They'll talk about you,
they'll
though.
still talk about you and they'll promote you in other ways, right? So,
Bro, we've been supported, and
Yeah.
we're just like people talking. It's like that's great. Like whatever the shade or flavor of the week is, however you feel about me right now, I really can't pay any attention to it. What do you do with your mind when? You sounds like you got it mastered now, but I know there must be maybe something that kind of gives you a bit of a sweet like alert, like maybe you want to look over here, like maybe not the comments, but say you get the impulse or the ping or like to be offended or something. What do you do with your mind instead? You said shake it off, like move on. But like that's so easy said than done. Like just like for
I actually
folks.
prepare for like I don't mind the negative comments, and like I've been interviewing people for like a national sales, like VP of sales manager role for AstroBoyz, and one of the questions I ask every single person that I've interviewed is, "What do you see that's my biggest weaknesses that you're going to help me overcome?" And some of them are like, "Oh my God, what kind of question is that?" I'm like, "No, I have thick skin. I need it, right? Everyone has room for improvement, and sometimes you can't see yourself that way, and it's always nice to have other people be able to observe it." So,
can you differentiate when those comments or that feedback is constructive and you can really take it in, and when it's like an absolute like, no, you're just wrong?
Ego driven or something.
I try not to let it be ego driven, because then all you're going to do is like try to bounce it back and defend yourself. It's just say, it is what it is. This is what people think. And even when I've done my personal development and self-analysis, I've learned like how to, if I'm in an event, I can take myself out of myself and like become a fly on the wall and see, how does this fly see Jazz right now walking around doing this and that, and like able
That's
to
a
like
cool-
self-analyze myself
Yeah.
from outside myself. And I think that's a really cool thing if you have that ability to be able to do that, because not a lot of people can
No.
do that. Not a lot of people
trying to do
look
it
at
right
themselves
now,
and say,
and
how am I acting and behaving? What are other people seeing of me
That's a gift.
by saying what I'm saying or doing what I'm doing? Or I think it's an amazing gift. If people were able to actually do that, that would be really, really amazing.
I think I would look less tired more of the time.
Yeah.
Because you purposely would pull yourself up,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's a huge practice and exercise. I feel like I'm always observing the world like that because I'm scared to be cringe. You know, like
Really?
I walk kind of cool down the street innately now.
Yeah.
I grew up in the city, in downtown Vancouver, walking up and down Robson Street. I'm almost like hyper aware. And then I have to actually sometimes be like, stop thinking about yourself like this.
Yeah,
like,
because you
be
also
in
lean
here.
into cringe. a lot.
Well, that's why I love it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, oh, fuck, that's hilarious. Like, if I would go drive that all the way to fucking Cringetown, let's go. I'll go with it.
Oh, it makes me uncomfortable.
Winnie gets very uncomfortable.
And I can like turn it on or turn it off. I can be in a room where it can be the most
course.
social guy like yourself, or just be somewhere else and be totally invisible.
Yeah.
And nobody knows, right? That's just.
I feel like I've seen you as both. I seen you when we were hanging out in Vancouver at Kind's. Shout out Kind. I feel like I was just, bloop, and there you were. It was like a beautiful affirmation, manifestation of just like your energy being there, but you totally came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. And then we first met each other at Shabaz's.
Shabaz's, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Shab.
Shabazz is amazing.
Yeah, lots of cool people. This industry has been really fun. That's another kind of fun part of it. Like, you take your chances to get involved, and everyone's kind of like banking on their own creativity or, you know, value of their products or network or somehow. But then we all kind of get to play together. That's been
It's
fun.
actually been a fun industry.
Yeah.
Like, probably the most fun industry I've actually ever been engaged and involved in.
That's so dope, bro.
There is like, we're trying to develop a community here.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like that idea of building community, but I like the people in the industry. I made a lot of friends in the industry that most likely I never would have met in my life
Right.
if I wasn't involved in this industry.
It's lucky. I say cannabis industry.
Like our paths never would have crossed.
I'm so grateful.
Never would have crossed.
I'm
right?
so grateful.
Yeah, and
I-
it's so there's so many amazing people in this industry.
I say that it's lucky to have us, like people. It's like, you know, if someone can eat in cannabis, like do something valuable enough to feed themselves and be prosperous, it's like, then we get them. You know, that's why I think now that it's a legal industry, it's like we get, you know, Jazz's talent if AstroBoyz works, and it does, and it will, because it manifests everything he puts his dreams to and his focus on. And it's like, we're lucky to have that character in our, you know, so it's like, it's attracted some
These are building blocks.
These are building
some
blocks,
cool
yeah.
bees to the honey, you know.
We're creating the Canadian cannabis like foundation right
100%,
now.
yeah.
And we have been for the
And
last
every person
5
is a
years.
brick in their own way to help
Yeah.
build that foundation.
It's all important.
Everyone plays a different role and an important role to build that.
So I have a question about your early career when you brought $23. You started with $23 and ended up
Yeah,
with
what was that?
$1 million company. Did that experience set you up for this idea that like, oh, I can replicate this now in other business sectors? Like, were you like, I can do this now after you had that first success?
Were you confident immediately?
Was it kind of like starting over again when you started your next business?
No, actually, a lot of my businesses kind of rolled into one another.
Oh.
There was always an opportunity got created because I was doing something and I made a relationship and they were like, let's do this. And I'm like, okay, let's bring that on and add it on to it. So right from after the first or second business, I always had a layer of a couple different businesses on the go. And I've taken a lot of like leadership training courses and organizational skills and stuff and know how to like put people in key positions where I'm not actually working day to day in any particular business, but from a 3,000 square foot view, I'm very, very close with the key people that we put in place to empower them and support them with whatever they need to be successful.
Incredible skill to delegate talent. How do you vet people? I find it very hard to even manage a band. Like energies, you really have to look through someone's intention and their starting point to bring them on board. Or how do you manage that? Can you do it mechanically? Like,
It's hard to do mechanically because I think we're human beings. I try to always see the goodness in people, and I look for someone that is looking for an opportunity to try to prove themselves to whoever, their family or their people who told them they can't do something. You know, the only reason I got into cannabis is people told me I couldn't do it. Right? They're like, you can't even roll a joint. You don't smoke weed.
I love that.
You can't be successful. I'm like, okay, you just gave me a challenge, right? And so like, watch me now, right? So
And you bring your thoughts. I don't want to brag about your past too much because you've done a lot of cool stuff, and I'd still love to hear more about those early businesses you started. But you got involved with producing films
yeah,
at a certain point in your career, and you're a producer, and you've established some cool connections, and you're leveraging that department of your life in your new department of life, which I found extremely exciting because I love blending and collaborating.
I've always, in every business, always focused on the marketing and sales side of the business. I've owned like law firms where I've had like, tens of thousands of clients, and I've never actually do the actual legal work. It's always, I want to do the business development. I want to do the sales and marketing. I can bring the business in, but like have the people actually doing most of the work, right? So, and find good people that you trust. At Sativa Bliss, I'm lucky I have my son. He's graduated university. He runs the company along with Ali. She's like our vice president and does the buying and whatnot. And she's actually a connoisseur. She understands the product and she runs it like it's her own business.
Let's go.
That's the way, right? They put their passion into it. All the managers of every store run it as if it was their own business, and they're like emotionally connected to to making it work. Right?
The menu
and
curation.
They feel like family, right? We create a sense of family.
And they're going to get the most out of it if they invest their whole selves into it too.
100%.
Because
we go above and beyond the employee-employer relationship. Like my wife will knows them all personally, can even take them for lunch or dinner if they're going through some hard times, which a lot of people do. We'll be there to support if they need money extra to get by, if they're having some financial. We always say, just come to us first. Don't ever let all those other things of life's challenges get in the way of you trying to be the best person you can be when it comes to work in your business, right? And I think that's important to have that backup and that support.
That's so beautiful, bro.
I mean, that's why they're able to invest so much of themselves into the business, because when you feel taken care of, you want to take care.
Take care, And you're not just a number then, right, to the company, right?
That's so important and incredible. I feel like there'd be so much more harmony and love given if people just... If folks like yourself who were thinking from that higher level the benefit could give that gift more often, because you realize when somebody's lower chakras are taken care of, then they're able to think. Like literally people are stuck in their root chakra, like you said. So they don't know, where the next thing is coming from. And that's a passing season in many people's lives. And it's like, you can't think in your intellect, your third one up, if you're still in your first one.
Yeah.
And like you're literally helping free them with that attitude, just knowing that. And then they'll feel lighter, and then they'll even manifest things in a brighter, abundant way
100%.
Just by you saying that. Even whether you put the dollars in their pockets or not, but it sounds like you do, which is great. So
I always don't give your problems to me, because I can handle them.
What a boss.
Right? Like I can handle them. I've figured out how to do it, and
that's fucking
just
amazing.
keep giving them to me.
All right, buddy. Well, I got your number. You got it.
Right? But you don't want to walk a mile in my shoes, right?
Yes.
It's not an easy walk sometimes.
Every time, guess what I got? Some problems for you. No, just kidding. No, but that's how you need to think as a CEO. Yeah.
Do you lean on any mindful or mental practices?
I do meditation every night.
Awesome.
So the most common question I get asked in this industry, because we're doing so many things, is when do you find time to sleep? And I honestly, I get a great night's sleep. Every night I meditate before for a good half an hour to an hour.
That is amazing.
Before I go to sleep, and always get the best night of sleep in my life. Wake up. I don't even use an alarm clock or anything to wake up. It's always by myself between 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. When my body wants to wake up, it'll wake up, and we're ready to go again.
What time are you going to bed?
Usually around midnight is when I fall asleep.
Shut up.
Yeah, so I fall asleep around midnight, but I'll wind down around 10-ish. But if I have work to do, like for AstroBoyz, if I get an idea,
I was going to say,
it doesn't matter. I'm up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, I've had stuff where when I was making the pitch deck, I worked from, I think it was like Friday, 7 p.m. till Sunday, like 7 p.m., like nonstop.
Bro, this is
where I wouldn't even get off.
Winnie knows this. Like even just like we just are finishing up a canna cover. I've been on it until like now, until like just before this episode. And when we started it, it's been like a week of like constant, just like when I wake up, I'm like, get at it. Like go and like formulate this and fix that. And then that's how it is. You fall in like these pockets. Is almost like addict-like behavior.
You got to be psycho about it.
You're nuts.
My wife thinks I'm crazy.
Yeah.
absolutely crazy.
You are,
right?
but lucky her.
But it's a good thing. I've learned to accept it as a compliment, right? So
Yeah.
that's crazy, the good thing.
It's a superpower that a lot of people don't have. And I think if you're able to hone it and just make sure it doesn't fully take over your life in a way that harms your family.
How do you balance that? Do you and your wife, like you guys have been together for a long time?
28 years.
Respect.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You almost double ours, which is still impressive.
And I met her.
How do you guys?
I think I spoke to her for a grand total of about 15 minutes before I got married to her.
What?
Yeah.
What?
It was crazy.
What? Can you explain
3
that?
weeks. So I still don't know how they got me, but my relatives, when the first time I went to India, started introducing me to girl after girl after girl, and after it was like 30-something girls later.
This was a cultural proposition.
Yeah, I kept saying no. Because we come from a good family back home, and living in Canada, my uncle was like in politics in India, so he's referring girls. They want to marry. They were looking for.
Oh, they're trying
someone.
to get in the family.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
lit. This
we
is a
just-
business move.
Yeah, we kept saying no. And eventually, like, it just happened to be that the last one was a yes. And I met her, I think, December 18th, and January 6th we got married. Talked to her for maybe 5 minutes on the 18th, and then like the 28th, saw her for 5-10 minutes, and then the next day I saw her was actually at our wedding ceremony. And I actually had to lift the veil to make sure they didn't do a bait and switch on her. Just to make sure.
Good
Oh
call.
my
Smart
God.
thinking.
Yeah.
So this,
But that's how it was done back then, right?
that's
and it was,
amazing.
I mean, you've
And the way that
gotten
it
the
happened-
last 28 years to
Yeah,
get
and the
to
way
know
that
each
it
other.
happened was like my aunt that introduced the family to us. We had like 16 people that actually went to see the who became my wife, and she asked everybody else first,
What did
and
you
then she asked me last. So I'm
Oh
like, well,
my
if all 15 people said yes, then obviously I'm going to say yes as well too. I'm not going to disrespect my family. Right? So that
Wow.
was it. So,
They all said yes to your wife asking them if she can marry you?
no, if she would be the right girl for our family.
So your wife went to your family before you guys got married?
Yeah, because our whole family happened to be visiting one of my mom's aunts.
Oh my God.
And then she said, my neighbors have a girl that might be a good fit for you guys. So we all went
It
to
was
the
a
neighbor's
neighbor's girl?
house. Yeah, we all went to the neighbor's house and actually...
You were
went
like
to-
a prince being
we-
paraded around.
No, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
No.
Look at this.
It was not like a prince kind of thing, but it was just that's how it was
So
done.
you're okay. So all of your family was like, "This is the one," and
This
you
is
were like,
good.
"Okay,
Yeah.
cool."
And I was like, okay, if that's what everybody thinks. These are
Wow.
my elders, like, senior people that I respect.
That is.
And they probably know better than me anyway at that age. And there's still some.
How old
it's
were you?
different now. I was 24. Wow. It's different now. Like, it's probably controversial to say, but I could probably pick a better. My son is 24. I could probably pick a better wife for him now than he could pick for himself. In some
I
ways.
hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I hear that. Yeah, because you're just 24.
Well, he's going to look for different things.
You're just
right?
20,
And I'm going
yeah.
to look for different things.
Yeah,
right?
I hear you.
I'm going to be thinking long term, good family,
Yeah.
good foundation.
Seem like a loyal
Is
person.
she going to be a good mother? All these types of things. And when you're 24, that's not what you look for, right? It's
You're 24.
Yeah, you're 24.
Your
right?
brain
So-
is almost developed.
As a man, it's not quite. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. So
you just
did-
look for different things, right? That's what it is. And it's not
I
something
love
unique
that
that happened
you-
to me. It was very common. It's been happening for hundreds of years in every culture, pretty much.
That's
yeah, and I'm pretty
incredible.
sure there's data on it saying that the divorce rate is way less.
Way less.
In arrarranged
Way-
marriages?
Yeah.
Way less.
Wow.
Like, yeah. This
Yeah.
concept of like romantic love is a very new concept for human beings. This is a couple hundred years old. It never used to be like that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
we've been around
all
for like 4,000 or
business
5,000 years.
transaction.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Holy, that's amazing. That's blowing my mind. You're so right. Because it was always like, yeah, it's like we got to grow these families.
Yeah.
Like, we are fucking parading right now.
We don't-
Humans are like, let's eat on patios, smoke weed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
we're living that good life.
Gratitude. Well, congratulations. That is absolutely incredible.
you.
You have this trust for the universe that seems to always end you in a beautiful place.
It is. And I think that's like from some of the Buddhism I've learned. It's just detachment. Just don't be attached to any result.
That is so beautiful.
Don't be attached to anything in life. We're just here. Don't take yourself too seriously.
Oh, bro, yes.
When you die, you're going to turn into topsoil like everybody else. And the world is going to continue moving on. There's been really big, great people that have lived and gone, and the world doesn't miss them at all.
It's
That's
trippy,
it,
man.
right?
Like I
We're
think,
so meaningless.
Yeah.
Right? So,
I think about death a lot, and
Holy
yeah,
shit.
the longest that my name will be said is like, if we have a kid,
yeah.
and then maybe their kid.
That's it.
That's
That's
it.
it.
That's like,
We're so meaningless. So why take
That's all
life and
we
ourselves
get.
so seriously?
and then if you happen to do something globally, maybe people will read about you or something. But other than
And
that,
that's
it's
usually
like,
the evil people that get remembered, right? How many good people do you remember from 300 years ago?
Yeah.
Like how many
true that.
really good cellists from even
Yeah.
like the 1940s do you know, as opposed to like any dictators from the
It's
40s
all-
that you know?
That's it. You'll remember. And they'll call them great. You know, Alexander the Great and all these.
Yeah.
All they did was go around killing people.
Well,
right?
you could-
I don't know what was so great about that.
I feel, I know, right? Fuck.
Agree.
And we idolize them, but we yeah, like running on the idea that building a legacy will keep your name around is like kind of silly. But I do feel like there are shifts in markets that ultimately, you're right, it doesn't fucking matter. Like this is just like one expression. As a human, we can only see like this much of like light dimension anyway. There's
Yeah.
so much
There's so
going
much
on.
we can't see.
even see. We're
Yeah.
we're like, there's like dogs, us, you know, plants.
Yeah.
You know, like they're perceiving probably more light vibration than we are.
100%.
So it's like, it's fun though, is what I was gonna try to land on there, is like building this legacy or doing something memorable to contribute. Like I think like what we're all doing here, like as much like fucking la-di-da as it may be, it's kind of neat to think that our contributions to whatever's happening in cannabis right now may be recalled as a positive direction forward.
That's the cool thing.
For
It's-
people. Like, it's
you
not
get
about
to
my
create
name.
something that didn't exist before.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yes.
I went back to Vancouver this Christmas for holidays, and my very first business, the directory that we had did, still exists.
Dude!
And I was like, you know what?
Fucking cool!
That's so cool. Like
That's
30
cool.
years ago,
Wow.
we gave birth to that thing, and it's still around.
And it serves
doing well
people.
and serves people.
That-
so,
That's a
it's
trip.
kinda
I don't
cool.
think many people have experienced that.
yeah.
Well-
it's still cool. I built houses, custom homes, and you drive by them, say, I built that.
That's
That's
fucking
kinda
cool, right?
It's not only in an egotistical way, but just something like, that was neat to create something.
Because they're not going around like thank you, Jazz,
Yeah,
for building
no.
this portion of the house. But like the idea that you are part of something that can live on to serve value. Furthermore, even they don't even have to know about you, but it's going to
Yeah.
be beneficial. Like I think about the people who.
It's like having a kid almost, right?
It's what-
You brought something into the world, and
Yeah.
now it's your job to.
So I feel like you commit yourself to that, like you're just working for God. Like that idea, like I've been put here in proximity or the universe, whatever you want to call it. It's like, oh, if I can see it, I must.
Yeah.
Like I have to do that.
That's
like
what I do.
once I know, because
Yeah.
I feel like you get an idea. Sometimes I get ideas like they're memories, and I'm like, well, of course, like that's gonna happen. And then I'm like, let me climb the messy human stairway to manifestation. And you got the balls to lock in for that, but also to do it peacefully is next level.
Yeah.
That's
Peacefully, and I'm so blessed that I have a lot of good friends in the industry that will support. If I get a new idea, they're like, Jazz, we will blindly support you to get it launched off, right? And then once it's launched, you got to prove it that it works. Right?
Yeah.
So it's nice to have people that'll take a chance on you, right? I don't start businesses with huge investments or something. It's always very, very lean startups, but we prove ourselves, we prove the concept, make sure it works and provides real value to who our customers are. Because we're not trying to, just make money. We're trying to do stuff that's actually going to make the industry better.
impactful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I got some ideas that we're keeping hush hush about, but I'm very excited
So-
for what you got coming.
Yeah, what can you tell us about AstroBoyz?
So AstroBoyz is just a cool story. It's actually like a science fiction story that I've been writing for a while.
Yes.
The story is of a planet called Should I say it right now? Because it hasn't even launched yet. But yeah,
Well, you don't have to.
Exclusive.
it's up to you guys.
Drop it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Okay. So
Or don't.
So the story is about a planet called Astoria, and essentially the planet is going through a climate crisis. There's an ice age coming on that planet, and the ice age is preventing vegetation and plant life from growing. And what happened was that's threatening the survival of that species. People that live there, all, I don't want to say human life, but alien life, living there. So their scientists discovered that there's this one particular plant. It's called the breathroot plant. And if they can extract a certain molecule out of that plant and consume it, it will enable them to breathe and survive on this planet. So they're like, okay,
Nice.
this is cool. We figured out a solution, but
That's a cool
the problem is they can't grow it here. So now what they have to do, they have to take seeds of this plant, take it to another class M planet that has the conditions that will allow it to grow, extract that out of there. Well, there you go. The plant was called the breathroot plant,
Yeah.
just because breath and root
I love that.
kind of combined together. And so that was the thing I was writing. And then all of a sudden during the Christmas holidays, like, why can't I turn the breathroot plant into a cannabis plant?
Hello.
And it can be the same thing, right? So essentially what happens is there's 3 aliens that were dedicated to like actually getting on a ship, bringing a whole bunch of seeds here. Their names are Galen, Amara, and Zalcor. Their identities will be released very soon, and their whole backstories and all that stuff will be given out to the industry. But they are tasked with coming here and recruiting people to help them grow this plant so they can extract it, so we can actually then ship the molecules over to Astoria so they can consume it until they figure out the climate crisis. So in the story, I'm the one that they come and visit to recruit, tell them what they need. We need your help and all this stuff. And then I go and find an LP that's going to help grow this plant. And because it happens to be the cannabis plant, we actually turn it into products here that are good for humans. So we're helping humans and also helping save Astoria. And the whole feel-good part about the story is that they start enrolling a few people, but eventually it becomes people from all countries, governments from all countries start working together to save another planet. And the fact that we're starting to save another planet, indirectly we end up saving ourselves. Because we're at war with each other and all this racism and all these things that divide us. By saving and helping, uniting to save somebody else, we end up learning those lessons for
And is
ourselves.
this a feature film or a series?
It was supposed to be a 2-season series.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love us.
It's
a 2-season.
It's like that old saying, "Help thy brother's boat across the river, and thine there's your own."
There's your own.
Yeah, it's like that's such a beautiful story.
And a lot of those values actually come from this plant. Yeah. That's all the values that it
I like
comes
that
from.
they need cannabis to breathe.
Yeah.
I think that's fun.
Also,
I get a kick out of it.
it brings up a really good point that humans are going to have to start getting familiar with, and that's interplanetary communication.
Yeah.
And even if it's just us invading other planets and taking them over and then doing humans there, this is an idea that's going to spawn on humans over the next
Oh, it has to.
century.
We are on pace to destroy this planet.
It's
right? There's no
happening.
way we're surviving. If we don't,
Oh, bro, I think
if
whenever...
we don't become interplanetary, human race is guaranteed done.
Dude, whenever she has enough of us,
That's it.
she'll shake us off
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
I'm never worried about us hurting the earth.
Yeah.
We're just being like
We're
dumb
just another
little-
cancer. Right?
Yeah,
To the
she can
planet, right?
anytime she can go like this
Yeah.
and shake, and she's done it before, and
Yeah.
she'll do it again.
100%.
But probably after we figure out, I do think interplanetary, and I think it's so perfect. You're at the Meta Milky
so
Way.
cool?
I'm looking around at planets here. I'm like, it's right on time.
That was so cool. Yeah.
Carl Sagan, John Lomberg's work. Shout out. It's great to be here.
I used to actually bribe. So Carl Sagan, and then there was a new one
This is good, by the way.
Yeah,
as
it
well.
is.
Oh,
Tastes
are you
good.
smoking our stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
Awesome.
Sucking
Okay.
that dosey dope.
Some do-si-do.
So I used to bribe my kids when they were younger to watch an episode of each of the episodes and pay them $20 and do a test afterwards. If they passed the test, then they they got the $20.
Toss.
I did that with books that I wanted them to read. And
Gotta
setting
make a
themselves-
reward.
Setting themselves up for success. Yeah,
And
they thought they were
$20
making
is a
$20.
Good reward.
Yeah, for a little kid, 10-year-old kid, $20 is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, and in whatever, this wasn't now, this was like 10, 20, or how old are
10, 11 years ago.
So it's
Yeah.
like $20 could even get you a good 7-Eleven.
That was like
then.
$50.
Yeah.
Now.
Like
So-
now that was, yeah.
A friend of mine offered her teen $100 to read a book, and he didn't do it.
What book was it?
It was like a self-help book,
Okay.
like a
100,
Yeah.
yo.
Self-help
like
is a really...
improve yourself type thing.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to push on somebody.
Yeah.
Because it almost makes you feel like you're telling them there's something wrong with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
That
not
you-
the best
that you
approach
can
at it.
improve. That's fair.
That's not the best approach at,
Yeah.
at
What a
doing
good
it like
leader.
that. They almost have to see it in themselves and want it.
Yeah.
And then you create that safe space for
Yeah.
being able to
How
Yeah.
would,
provide them support.
I love that. How would you offer the opportunity for them to reflect on that potential self-betterment? Like, do you think there's any positioning for them to come upon that awareness? Like, can you ever help that, or do you just wait entirely until somebody decides to want to better themselves?
I think you have to become a really, really good listener. And if you can listen for stuff that is not said and read in between the lines, right? Human beings, like, we're not very good at communicating. We don't say what we mean, and we
We're-
don't mean what we say.
Words are clunky.
And words, English is a horrible language.
Yeah.
It's still my second language, and people don't understand me sometimes. So, but it's just, we've never been taught how to listen. In school, you go for reading courses, writing courses, even some people do speaking. Have you ever taken a listening course in your life?
Fuck.
So we've never trained ourselves how to listen properly. I took listening courses, and really learned how to listen beyond what a person is just saying with their words.
I got a listening grade. It's funny there was no class to teach
There
you
was
how to
actually-
listen,
yeah.
but they would grade you on it.
Yeah.
And I always scored.
Well,
really
everyone always says listen to, right?
Right.
So it's the concept of listening to. So listen to your parents, listen to your teacher, listen to your wife.
It's
all
almost
that
like
kind of stuff.
obediently.
And that's the most basic way of listening, right? There's
It
other
doesn't
higher
spark
forms
curiosity.
of like listening for is another one that's more advanced, right? And listening from is another form. So there's various different levels. And if you can learn how to listen at much higher levels, somebody just needs to say 4 or 5 sentences, and you know their life story. You know where they're coming from,
Yes.
and their probable, almost certain future as well, too.
Their perspective of where they're at, for sure. That will inform you of their peripherals, and then you build a scene.
That's it. Yeah, you build a scene. You
If-
can tell them what they think of the world, what their worldview is, what their perspective is.
how they feel about themselves.
Yeah, how they feel about themselves.
And
It's-
everything's
yeah.
relative. So you
Yeah.
almost, I feel you, bro. You're operating intuitively. This is how
Yeah.
I feel too. I categorize people almost on a frequency scale, not to like say better or worse, just in times when I feel like I have a full cup, I'll reach out to somebody who I know has a lower vibration,
100%, yeah.
hopefully giving love. But I can't be there all the time. But you can know where to sort the people in your life, and if you ever need a boost or whatever, you get the high vibrational people,
Yeah.
and then you guys can collaborate. And you often want to bring a good part of yourself to that too.
Yeah. I can just ask a question, like, and it's not always 100% accurate because we're human beings, but you can ask someone, what do you do for work? And just from how they answer that question,
Yeah.
you find out what they do for work, but you also find out what they feel about what they do for work.
Yes.
Whether they're actually happy in their
Yeah.
life and whether they actually met the goals that they actually want to
That's
live.
true.
Most people will
Wow.
say, for now, I am, driving Uber. So the moment they use the words for now, you know it's not what they actually wanted to do.
Yeah.
Right? So they're not happy in life, most likely, with what they're doing. Their goals aren't met. There's so many things that open up just from that 1-2 words
Holy fuck.
that you can now open another conversation and create a safe space to have a conversation with, right? It's
Yeah, and then you're just going straight towards the heart.
That's it. You
'Cause you're
just
not-
create that safe space that they can talk openly.
Most people hammer on. Like, look, you're fucked up. I don't care.
Yeah,
Fucking
you can never
take-
be something is wrong with you.
Jesus.
Something is wrong with something. So many things are wrong with me. Right? Like, everything's wrong with all of us.
How do you? Now that I'm getting to like this chat, getting to know you a little bit
That's
better.
beautiful, brother. Thank you
Yeah,
for
that
putting
really
listening
was.
like that.
How do you look out into the world and have it be very stimulating in terms of what's happening globally? And it feels there's like a sense of separateness among like us in a global way, which is interesting because COVID, it really felt like globally we were like banding together. And now we have the kind of dichotomy of that happening now. So how do you look out into the world and see these things and like not be affected by them?
I think I try to look at it and just be disconnected from it and be able to see the things from both sides a little bit. And usually every story has sometimes 3, maybe 4 different ways of looking at things. And too many people just get into their own bubble and their own one way of looking at things are never able to open up and see themselves.
Yeah, and
open to it, because the world is so tribal where it's like I'm right and you're wrong, and I always have to defend what's right to me, right? And it's all about looking good and the fear of looking bad, right? Those are the things that drive every person's decisions in life, right? It's always,
I love that. Yeah. And in my rap, I've taken the approach of the villain because I'm a little higher on the autistic scale than your average person. I've always had intelligence, but the structure never served me. So they'd always say I was bad. So I own the villain. Yeah. And it's like whatever way people want to perceive you, like in that way, I'm like, fuck yeah. Like as long as I exist. As long as I'm an energy, and like balancing those dark energies and those light energies in ourselves can sometimes be fun and playful because people want to cast that shit. Even during the pandemic, I love how you said people banded together and a lot of people had an opposite experience. It's all where you're sitting in your perspective, right? And it's all what you feel and then what you cast upon your mind movie to manifest in your reality. Whatever you feel is going to generate more.
I would still say that sentiment, no matter what, like where you landed on the spectrum
left and
of
right.
that, people band together. Like
even not.
Well, we're tribal. Human beings are tribal.
Yeah,
right?
Tribal. That was another
we're very
great
tribal to begin with, right? We all lived in tribes hundreds of years ago.
Yeah,
and
that was
so
that was
where
your safety
people
net.
end up in these bubbles, though,
That's
right?
it.
Because they're
we're still tribal.
We're
still tribal.
So what do we do?
There's a lot.
What do we do?
We have to look at ourselves as an individual, I believe.
Don't take yourself seriously.
Yes.
Don't think you're special. You're just ordinary. And the moment you start thinking you're just ordinary, you stop caring what people think and you stop competing with other people. Somebody will always have more money than you. Somebody will always be better looking than you. I think social media kind of screwed up this world.
It did.
And created a lot of these problems. But to live simply is what everyone's trying to do. But
what does it feel like?
Incredible.
Like what does that sense of ordinary feel like? Because I am an actor and a stand-up comedian, and I would be lying to you if I wasn't chasing some type of extraordinary that I'm putting myself out. Like I'm putting myself out there because in my opinion, if I achieve that.
So why are you trying to achieve it?
Then because I believe if I achieve that, then what I'll be doing is performing on a higher level that I'm performing now, and like
if you achieve
receiving
that,
funds
who
for
do you,
that.
who do you get to be?
I get to be a performer that makes a lot of money. I get to perform for in exchange for
and
money.
If you're a performer that makes a lot of money, then who do you get to be?
Oh, I get to be a better family member. That's first and foremost for me. That's who I think I'll be when that happens.
And then if you're a better family member, who do you get to be?
Someone that I like better. A version of me that thinks I will like myself more.
There you go.
Yeah.
You just said
You
you're
just
doing all
boxed
this
me.
because you think you're not good enough.
Oh.
There-
You're welcome, everybody.
It's literally that simple.
That was beautiful.
It takes like 2 minutes, right? So all the fluffiness out there was actually said, you know what, I actually don't think I'm good enough and I need to do all these things. But what you don't realize is you're so amazing as it is to work with.
Thank you.
So that's
So beautiful.
yeah.
Sick.
It's pretty simple if you simplify things, right?
You can just love yourself. You can get the gold at the end of the rainbow anyway.
Yeah.
Just give it to yourself.
I think it's a matter of just choosing it. Just choose to be happy with what you have. I've lived in houses that are, 10, 15,000 square feet. I got an average size one now, like 4,000 or 5,000, but I could be in my basement and I'll still choose to be happy. And nobody can take that away from you, right? All these monetary things aren't going to go away. And that was my grandma that taught me. Actually, I think I have it. Let me share it with you. I've never shared this with you, right?
I know.
So my grandma gave me a gift when she passed away. And she told me to keep it with me for the rest of my life. And I've kept it with me forever.
Go dance.
And this is like the day that she died. She gave me this.
Oh. It's a penny?
It's a penny. And she says, always remember that when you die, not even this goes with you. So everything, she goes, I'm going to die later on today. And the only thing I know for sure is that the people that love me will miss me. Nothing else is guaranteed. I don't know where I'm going. I've been very religious and all that, but that was just my belief system. But the only thing I'm 100% confident in is that you guys will miss me.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's where the detachment comes from a simple
Thank you
lady
for
that's
sharing
never
that.
been to school because they
Yeah.
didn't allow women to go to schools or educate themselves and stuff. And it's just sometimes the simplest things in life is, and I've had this here for like 13 years.
Shout out Grandma.
There was loving energy in that, bro.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for
yeah.
sharing that. That's so special.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's it. Just try to keep things literally that simple. Even though life can be complicated and we have challenges and stresses and all that kind of stuff, but at our core, we get to control how we react to the world. Yeah. And that's the only thing we actually have control over. We have no control over anything.
Oh, so you
Nothing
just
in this world.
let that go.
Nothing.
Yeah.
You have to let that go.
So,
And then when you create...
and we didn't come with a user manual, right? So unfortunately...
Maybe someone should make one.
Well, we kind of are. This
That's your
episode
next-
is
yeah, that's the next business.
The human user manual with Jazz. Fuck, I was just gonna say. Then when you create, when you're at peace and you're not doing it for reasons of trying to be something, you're creating from a place of like joy, of like creativity and love, and it's more colorful than trying to make a business.
It was actually
earn.
So it's so weird how it
dreaming.
happened. I've told you guys, I don't know much about weed.
You're
and
not
and
even a
honestly,
stoner.
because that guy told me I can't roll a joint, I will refuse to even learn how to roll a joint just to prove him wrong.
But just sell a bunch of weed to
Yeah.
joint rollers.
But
You're already high, bro.
most-
This is crazy.
yeah, I don't
we're
need to. I don't need to.
I'm smoking to get where you are.
Yeah.
Straight up. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, I don't need to smoke to get it.
Holy.
And I don't have the come down.
Yeah.
That's the best part.
Fuck.
But most of the businesses I ended up starting was because I told myself I don't know anything about this industry. So I'm just a dumb guy that needs to go out and learn as much as possible. And if there's a problem, I find the problems and I say, okay, I have to figure out a solution. I didn't know anything about retail. And this is my first retail business I've ever done. And I went to one event and I saw a few retailers there that knew about cannabis and knew about that. I said, I should make friends with these people. And so we actually created an association called VIP Media Group where we have like over 400 or 500 retailers that are part of it, that we support each other. I have a group chat. You should see it sometime.
This is
Bro,
incredible.
so
We've been
beneficial.
talking about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, we've had retailers on, and I've
Yeah.
said that when we had 1922. I'm like,
Yeah.
how do retailers support
So
one
we
another?
built
Because
that.
there should be a
Yeah.
community. That's
VIP
awesome.
Media.
Yeah, we built that.
Bro, how
And then
can
we started hosting events.
Oh my God.
And we did galas, and it's all for retailers. We're doing one on July 18th that we can give a shout out to as well too.
Yeah.
A 420 affair on July 18th.
Where?
And it's for retail store owners and managers and inventory buyers and LPs, owners and LP reps, just to kind of create those relationships. Because I think relationships is where, opportunities come.
Great things come from that, and
That's it.
you vibe out, and it's easy to collect a vision. When you're in the room and you're like, oh, y'all are dreaming like that, you can get down and make
That's
those
it, yeah.
connections. That's so beautiful. Where is it?
It'll be up at Mirage Banquet Hall. That's where I
Mirage?
do most of my events. My dad owns the place. So we never have to worry about unions and all these types of things that make
That's
things
great.
super expensive. I did the Elevate conference there
Yes.
last year as well, too. And again, that was all part of giving back to the smaller people. It wasn't to
Lots
make money.
of good feedback from
Yeah,
that
we
show.
had great
Is that where
education. We
people
listened
got
to people.
all the samples?
Yeah, people
There were
were
some
like,
samples.
yeah, with lots of sampling. People were saying we need more education in the industry. So like, let's create a platform to provide
Yes.
the education. People were like, we don't get an ROI when we're handing out samples. So I was like, you know what? I'm a retailer. I buy a product anyway. So if you spend a few $1,000s on a booth, I'll take that money and I'll buy you all your products from my stores.
Ah.
And we're able to guarantee ROI to people. And I still do. I still continue doing that. Anybody that does Dank Reviews, Dope Box, or any of the businesses, I make sure we sell their products in our stores.
Of course.
That's how we create our
Why wouldn't
the
you
ecosystem,
select
right?
partners like that? That's like good business.
100%.
And then it's also like, it's a brilliant way for you to give what you have from where you're standing. You're throwing this event, you're also a retailer, throw this in,
Yeah.
and then it's a double win.
Yeah.
That's how I feel with us in content. It's like, we come from entertainment, so we happen to love weed, and it's like, cool, we're gonna like try and just like use what we have to make a good outcome, and that's like the best way.
100%, yeah.
Yeah,
You got to support those that support you, right? So,
yeah.
and
It's documented history.
let's, yeah.
Okay, so far in this conversation, I've learned that you build houses.
I have built houses.
You're a writer. You have retail stores.
Yeah.
Graphic
you do
design.
Graphic design.
Produced films,
Shows.
Hollywood films.
Yeah, and do trade shows and stuff. So I'm curious. Obviously, you've gotten.
And that's probably why I don't smoke weed.
Yes. Is there anything that that is floating around now? I'm just personally curious that you haven't got your paws on yet that you'd be
so
interested in.
Tech is an industry that I want to get involved
Cool.
in. So we have a couple of tech ventures coming out that are for the cannabis industry.
Oh my God.
But beyond that, my next life. So I've always done different businesses for the sake of not doing the business, but for having different life experiences.
Absolutely,
So-
I agree.
yeah.
Ellevan's new manager, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. one of my goals was that to live for like 400 or 500 years.
Okay.
And I know like physically it's not possible to do, but if
Biohack?
I do a business and it enables me to live a life, because most people have a job and they do the same thing for 25, 30 years. But if I can have their 25, 30 years worth of life experiences into 4 or 5, let me build a business around it that helps pay the bills, but I can have those experiences. And then another business that has a different lifetime. So for me, it's like every business has been a lifetime worth of experiences, and that way I can get to the
Yeah,
400
you're
or 500
10Xing
year,
or whatever,
10xing
yeah.
everything. And
Are you
That's
good?
very cool.
I do have a business that I want to get into, like biogenetics and stuff, and let human beings live forever eventually. As
Do you think that's a bad idea?
Well, we got to turn ourselves into Robo Sapiens, right?
Okay,
so that's what
nice.
it is, right? So
Robo Sapiens.
Yeah.
And we just like switch out the organic parts that.
that's it. And we just download. We're just the consciousness in here, and be able to like transport it around
Wow.
and stuff like that.
So mechanically, not like energetically keep this one physical vessel alive.
yeah.
your
Well,
theories.
look at it. If this is just a skin bag, it's meaningless, right? There's something else inside of us.
But it's beautiful, though. I mean, it's an incredible
it's
machine.
beautiful, but
Yeah, it goes.
if you lose your arm, you still exist, right?
Right.
If you lose your legs, you still exist,
I can keep my arm, though. I love that arm.
right? But the thing is, we don't need this for you to still exist.
The consciousness, the observer, the me, the I, the
That's it,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that people?
It's the
'Cause
extension of it.
I think at one point there was maybe there's a possible dimension in history where people lived for like hundreds of years, but the theory is that like the gluttony and the greediness and everything took over because of the length of time. They kind of thought that
They say,
You know.
with the gods that if once you become immortal, then life becomes meaningless. Like,
Right?
it's not as precious, right?
yeah.
It's meaningless already as it is, but it's not as precious, right?
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that outlook, by the way.
That's
Thank you
huge.
for bringing that because we do take it too seriously and we
Yeah,
are
we
just
do.
playing around. This is like just a big playground.
Yeah, that's true. It's fun, though. It's
one
fun.
of the courses I did, it was at the end of the course, the summary was life is meaningless, life is empty and meaningless, and it's empty and meaningless that it was empty and meaningless, right? So it's just we are the ones that give meaning to it,
Yeah.
right?
We're meaning-making machines.
We are.
We decide. We make decisions.
That's it.
We like choose. We have choice, and then we stick by those choices.
That's it.
And then we're like, this is my ego identity. I am an idea.
Just looking good, right? And being right. That's it.
Do you do a daily review at all of like, checking things off your list in terms of what you want to,
No. No, I've never done journaling or this and that. I have like sometimes a little piece of paper of the things I need to get done, like a
Yeah.
to-do list. But no, very little self-reflection types of things. I don't take myself too seriously. I'm just like, live for today. Who knows if tomorrow's going to be there? And there's no such thing as tomorrow. So
I know, that's a trip too.
yeah,
It's always just
It's
now.
just now.
there is only now. There is only now.
You know what's
right?
trippy though? We are in the now,
Yeah.
in this present moment, and then it's being documented. So then when we watch this, we will be in the now then, remembering the now. Meta. Gratitude. So that's how
This
you can
has
tell
been-
we're from BC.
We got a growth brain that makes you think like that.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I feel like it's this one, bro. I mean, you got it.
What did you think of that?
I think it's lovely. I feel uplifted. It was nice to break up. It was nice trichomy all around it. It was the terpinolene, and I think there's a little humulene in there maybe when you're smoking it. It unlocks some flavors that you don't even smell on the nose.
Agreed.
A little bit of a young harvest right here, but I think we're getting the snap test for the... Nice. Still a little bit young, but it will, I'm sure, once it cures more. But you heard it. It smells nice. Yeah, I liked it.
I liked it
That's
too.
our flagship strain, the Deep Space Odyssey. Right? So it's
Deep Space
It'll get you there.
Odyssey.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm so excited to see you bring this alien venture to life with AstroBoyz.
we'll do a podcast with them.
Yo, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be
After the
fun.
420, I'll bring them here and we can do a podcast.
We'll do
Oh my
something.
God.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
And your event, June 18th?
July 18th.
July 18th?
Yeah.
At Mirage?
Emerage, yeah. So we're doing it during Kind Summer Fair Week.
Okay.
So everyone go to Kind on like Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Thursday's our
Lit.
big event, and
That's
just
fun.
bring the whole industry together.
So good.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so excited. Yeah, we definitely got to do a catch up.
We'll
Man,
put where you can find that in the link below.
Sure.
Yeah, but yeah.
And it's always free. Like, we don't charge retailers and all that stuff. It's open bar, full food, everything.
What?
Yeah, I don't want to charge money to people
Shout out.
that are my friends, right?
That's so beautiful, bro. Thank you so much. Yo, you blessed
That's the
us.
Indian in me. We have to be good hosts, right?
Oh, I love that. Yeah, we got to.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like you hosted us today, bro. You like blessed us with so many perspectives.
Yeah, that was lovely.
Yeah, so first of many hangs, hopefully. And do you want to leave anyone with, or the folks with any final messages or sentiments? I mean, I guess you basically.
or promos.
Or anything.
Anything.
Where they can find
Promos,
you.
I don't want. Just be good people. Let's build community. We have a wonderful industry, and we can all work together. If we stay true to the values of the plant, I think we're going to be in good hands.
That's so beautiful. Bless you, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, subscribe, tell a friend. Bless yourselves and others.
Peace.
See ya. That was beautiful.
Hey, listen, man. We can't smoke on no meds, homie. And I ain't into sports and stuff. So I be putting my athleticism in smoking. Yeah. You know what we smoking on, light it up a Ellevan, flexing with the super strong, puffing like a smoke-a-thon. Gotta cut a smoke alarm, throw smoke rings at the throat like a water gun. You know word like a sing-along, set it, let it be like a bet you betting on. It's a bud throne that I'm sitting on. Phone it in like a telethon, when it's said and done, everyone wanna be puffing like a smoke-a-thon. We be puffing like a smoke-a-thon. We be puffing like a smoke-a-thon. Puffing like a smoke-a-thon. I be puffing like a smoke-a-thon. Only hitting that hella bomb. Yeah, gotta kill a smoke alarm. We be puffin' like a puffathon. We be puffin' like a puffathon. I'm like bad boy, baby. Puff my main thing. Yes, terps in the nose. THC in my veins. CBG for the highs. CBD for the pain. Shout out every other element that we haven't measured yet, because education has been restrained. Why, I wonder why. Cannabis, this fucking guy, he goes up in the pharma cabinet and says, I'll replace you and take you out the game. Good night, alright. And you fight that have been prescribed. It's time to take a hike vibe, and you're gonna kill this guy. Smoke a joint every morning and you'll be fine. The red cherry is where I find the light. You know what we smoking on, light it up a Ellevan, flexing with the super strong, puffing like a smoke-a-thon. Gotta cut a smoke alarm, throw smoke rings at the throat like a water gun. You know word like a sing-along, said it, let it be like a bet you betting on. It's a bud throne that I'm sitting on. Phone it in like a telethon. When it's said and done, everyone wanna be puffing like a smoke-a-thon. We be puffing like a smoke-a-thon. We be puffing like a smoke-a-thon. Puffing like a smoke-a-thon. I be puffing like a smoke-a-thon. Only hitting that hella bomb. Yeah, gotta kill a smoke alarm. We be puffing like a puffathon. We be puffing like a puffathon. Disciplined stoners out on the scene, matching tracksuits and Jordan 3s. Can't wait to see you and smoke more weed. What's that you got there, a blunt for me? Fuck it, I'm lucky, I love you too. Let's see you all drop some new stuff too. What's here a Sunday on a Sunday cruise? Doing reviews for hair next skew. Smoking the fire and we hella blitz. I got my paws on shit nobody gets. Outstanding buds like they came from the drip. Throwing some primo, I'm top of the tip. Never am stiff, I love the community. At an event talking like it's just you and me. Culture and industry making its history. We are just happy to be here and getting so lit. You know what we smoking on, light it up a Ellevan, flexing with the super strong, puffing like a smoke-a-thon. Gotta cut a smoke alarm, throw smoke rings at the throat like a water gun. You know word like a sing-along, said it, let it be like a bet you betting on. It's a bud throne that I'm sitting on. Phone it in like a telethon. When it's said and done, everyone wanna be puffing like a smoke-a-thon. We be puffing like a smoke-a-thon. We be puffing like a smoke-a-thon.
I'm like bad boy, baby. Puff my main thing. Yes, terps in the nose. TC in my veins. CBG for the highs. CBD for the pain. Shout out every other element that we haven't measured yet, because education has been restrained. Why? I wonder why. Cannabis, this fucking guy, he goes up in the pharma cabinet and says, I'll replace you.
Oh, yeah, it's so smoky. We smoked it out. It won't stop because of all the weed being smoked. No.